All right, Big Brother has wrapped up for the night. We've had another veto, a little bit of strategy going on behind the scenes, and that is where we sit right now. So let's just go over really Memphis's HOA trade. For whatever reason, he's had it in for David all season long. And, as a viewer, I'm sitting there thinking, why do you want David gone? David does nothing in the game. Absolutely nothing. He's not a threat. He's won a few little things, but he has no allies. He's not working with anybody. He can't lie worth a damn, and he's just a non-factor in the game. And in my mind, you just don't vote that person out. That is the person you want to be sitting beside at the end of the game. That is the person who, if they're up beside you, it guarantees that you win. Like for someone like Nicole, that she said, well, the only way that I'm going to win is if I'm sitting beside Ian. Well, if you're up there beside David, or even Kevin for that matter, you're still going to win, because David and Kevin, they're just two total non-events this season. Their games have been extremely subpar, and in my opinion, especially this late in the game, you keep those players around. You do not waste them. You do not waste an HOH on getting David out. So I'm glad how things went down. I really think that it does benefit Tyler's game to keep David around, but also I feel like it benefits everyone else in the house as well. And I have to believe that Davon is headed to the jury. It doesn't really surprise me, and I'm very interested to see what happens if Davon does get evicted, because there has been a lot of information that she has just been oblivious to. Even you look at how the vote went down last week with Nicole and Danny really playing Davon and Kevin. It was a little hard to watch, and I think that when she gets hit with all that information, it's going to be a little jaw drop moment for Davon. The Memphis, he was just laser focused on getting David out. And I really feel like if he had actually sat down with his alliance, this is his second HOH of the season, and once again he did the same garbage that he did the first time on going about his plan without discussing it with any of his alliance. He has a huge, solid alliance. It is very rare for a 6-person alliance to have gone this deep into the game so cleanly, and yet you still have players like Memphis within that alliance that don't talk about the game with their alliance members. If he had sat down and said, "Hey everybody, I really want to target David this week. Here's my reason why. Let's do that and go forward," he would have had no problems. It's when he's doing everything behind everyone else's backs that all of a sudden there is issue. If he had been up front and told everybody what his plan was, I believe that they would have just rolled with it. And then we enter that veto, and it just ends up being Memphis and the 3 people who he told to throw the competition as being the 4 people to compete. And when we see Davon, it was almost like a replay of what happened when Davon and Bailey were on the block, and that veto competition, they just lost immediately. They were the first 2 out, and in today's veto, Kevin and Davon were firmly in the last 2 places. So that's kind of interesting, and another reason why you probably don't vote Kevin out, because he not only is he not a threat socially, he's not a threat to even win competitions. I am glad that Tyler was able to talk some sense into Memphis after he won the veto, to open his eyes that, hey, one, maybe there's something going on with Davon, Kevin, Danny, and Nicole, which there kind of is. And 2, also to start putting that target on the back of Danny and Nicole. And hopefully we start to see some major cracks in the committee as early as next weekend. I'm excited for the new twist that we're getting, the BB neighbor. I'm excited to see who moves into the house. As I said before, my prediction is that it's going to be Dr. Will. I think that really bringing any of the legends in at this point would be fantastic, whether it be Dan Giesling, Derek, even bringing back Janelle and Kaser for a little cameo would just put a smile on my face and add a little bit of life to the game. As we had Zingbot this week, the highlight of that for me was the final zing that he nailed on Nicole Franzel. I think he hit the nail on the head, just how she has been this season. And yeah, I really enjoyed that. So yeah, I think that's going to wrap everything up for this recap tonight. So Tyler wins the veto, decides not to use it. So we still have Kevin and Davon sitting on the block. I'm going to predict that Davon heads home. She's just, in my opinion, way bigger of a threat than Kevin, and we will move on from there. So we still continue the season with the committee rolling over everybody and slowly getting to the point of the season where they are going to have to finally start taking shots at each other. And I really just don't think that the season is going to get exciting till we hit that point. So yeah, we got to hold on for a couple more weeks, and then hopefully things start going wild in the Big Brother house. All right, that is it for tonight. As always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, we'll see you later.